Hi, my name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm 28 years old, and I'm a graphic designer working from home. 3 years ago, my husband David died in a construction accident, leaving me alone with our son, Lucas, who just turned 4. I never imagined that the family I grew up loving would abandon us when we needed them most. But what I really never imagined was that after ignoring my little boy's birthday party, they'd have the audacity to demand thousands of dollars from me. This is the story of how my family's greed became their downfall, and how $1 became the most expensive lesson they ever learned. David and I met in college. He was studying engineering, I was in art school, and everyone said we were opposites that somehow made sense. We got married young, maybe too young by some standards, but we were happy. When Lucas was born, David was the kind of father who took midnight feedings without complaint and built elaborate blanket forts on Sunday mornings. He worked hard, provided well, and had a life insurance policy because he said he wanted to make sure his 2 favorite people would always be taken care of. Then came October 15th, 3 years ago. A scaffolding collapse at his construction site. The call came while I was picking out Halloween costumes with baby Lucas. David was gone before the ambulance even arrived. My family rallied around me at first. Mom brought casseroles. Dad helped with the funeral arrangements. My older brother, Tyler, even gave a eulogy about how David was the brother he never had. My younger sister, Amanda, held Lucas during the service when I couldn't stop crying. For those first few weeks I felt supported, felt loved. But grief has a way of revealing people's true nature, and insurance money has a way of making people forget their compassion. The life insurance payout was $350,000. David had been meticulous about our finances, and this money, combined with our savings, meant Lucas and I would be okay. Not rich but stable. I could work from home, raise my son, and not worry about losing our house. I told my family about it because I trusted them. 'Cause they were my family. That's when things started to change. It began subtly. Mom would make comments about how lucky I was to be set up so young. Tyler started having frequent financial emergencies. His car needed repairs, his apartment needed a deposit, his girlfriend needed help with student loans. Each time he'd call with the same energy. "Sarah, you're doing okay now, right? Could you spot me just this once? Help." I wanted to be a good sister, a good daughter. I gave Tyler $3,000 for his car. I gave Amanda $1,500 for her security deposit. I gave Mom $2,000 when she said Dad's diabetes medication was getting expensive. I thought this was what family did. But just this once became a pattern. Tyler's emergencies were monthly. Amanda started asking for money for furniture, clothes, essentials. Mom would call crying about bills I later discovered Dad's insurance actually covered. And every request came with the same underlying message. "You have it, we need it. What kind of person would you be if you said no?" I was grieving, exhausted, and raising a toddler alone. I didn't have the energy to fight. So I gave and gave and gave. The dynamic was clear. I was the family ATM. But only when they needed something. When I needed help. When Lucas had a fever and I needed someone to pick up medicine, when I had a work deadline and needed a few hours of childcare, when I just needed someone to talk to about how hard it was being a widow at 25. Suddenly everyone was busy. "I wish I could help, honey, but I have my book club," Mom would say. "Sarah, I'm swamped with work," Tyler would dismiss. "Can't you hire a babysitter?" "You have the money," Amanda would suggest, as if paid help could replace family support. I started to feel it, the isolation, the resentment building. But I told myself I was being ungrateful. They'd been there for the funeral, hadn't they? They'd brought casseroles, hadn't they? Then came Lucas's 4th birthday. I'd been planning it for weeks. Lucas had just started preschool and was obsessed with dinosaurs. I rented a small community center, ordered a T-Rex cake, bought decorations, sent invitations to his little classmates. And of course I invited my family. Mom, Dad, Tyler, Amanda. I sent the invitations 6 weeks in advance. Bright green cards with dinosaurs on them that Lucas had helped me pick out. "Nana's coming to my party, right, Mama?" Lucas asked me every single day for a month. "Of course, baby," I'd say, because I genuinely believed it. The morning of the party, Lucas woke up at 6 a.m., too excited to sleep. We spent the morning decorating, setting up extra chairs, arranging the goodie bags. I set up a special table in the front for family, right near where Lucas would open his presents. 4 chairs, one for each of them. Grammy sits here, Lucas announced, putting a special dinosaur party hat on one chair. My phone buzzed at 10 a.m. The party started at 2 p.m. Tyler. Hey, can't make it today. Got a last-minute golf thing with some work buddies. Tell Lucas happy birthday from Uncle Tyler. I stared at the text. Golf. My son's birthday versus golf. I texted back. Tyler, Lucas has been asking about you every day. It's just 2 hours. The response came 5 minutes later. Sarah, don't guilt-trip me. Have a life. I'll catch him next time. At 11 a.m., Amanda called. Sarah, I'm so sorry, but Brett surprised me with concert tickets for tonight and we're leaving early to beat traffic. I already told you I might not make it, remember? She hadn't told me any such thing. Amanda, you RSVP'd yes 6 weeks ago. Lucas set up a special chair. God, Sarah, he's 4. He won't even remember. Stop being so dramatic. I'll send him a gift card. The call ended before I could respond. At 1 p.m., 1 hour before the party, Mom texted. Mom. Honey, Dad's not feeling well. We're going to skip today. Give Lucas a big kiss for us. I called her immediately. Mom, please. Lucas has been talking about you coming for weeks. Can't Dad rest at home and you come for just an hour? Sarah Elizabeth, your father needs me. You of all people should understand that family takes care of each other. The irony wasn't lost on me. Family takes care of each other. Unless that family member is a 4-year-old boy who lost his father. I sat in my car in the parking lot of the community center, fighting back tears. Lucas was inside with one of the preschool teacher's assistants I'd hired to help, arranging his dinosaur plates. I had 15 minutes before parents started arriving with their kids. I took down the 4 chairs at the family table. I removed the special party hats. I took a breath and went back inside with the biggest smile I could manage. Mama, is Nana here yet? Lucas asked the moment he saw me. Not yet, baby. But look at all your friends who are coming. The party was actually beautiful. 12 preschoolers running around in dinosaur hats, playing pin the tail on the stegosaurus, eating cake. Lucas was happy, laughing, surrounded by the parents of his little friends who were kind enough to stay and chat with me. One mom, Jennifer, whose son was in Lucas's class, even hugged me when she saw me alone. You did an amazing job, she said warmly. Lucas is lucky to have such a dedicated mom. I smiled, but inside I was breaking. My son kept looking at the door, waiting for Nana, for Uncle Tyler, for Aunt Amanda. Every time it opened, his little face would light up, then fall when it was just another preschooler arriving. When it was time to sing happy birthday, Lucas blew out his candles and made a wish. Later, when everyone had left and we were cleaning up, I asked him what he'd wished for. I wished that Grammy would come next time, he said simply. That night, after Lucas was asleep, I sat on my couch and cried. Not just about the birthday. About everything. About being alone. About being used. About my son learning at 4 years old that family doesn't always show up. I texted the family group chat. Thank you all for making Lucas feel so special on his birthday. He waited all day for his family. The sarcasm was clear. No one responded. 2 weeks later, Tyler called. Not to apologize. Not to ask about Lucas. Hey Sarah, I need a favor. My blood went cold. What kind of favor? So, I'm graduating with my MBA next month. Finally, right? And I'm throwing this big graduation party. We've got the venue, the catering, everything planned. But we're short about $2,200 for the final payments. I was hoping you could help out. Family, you know. I couldn't speak. Literally couldn't form words. Sarah. You there. You want me to give you $2,200, I said slowly. For your graduation party. Yeah, just a loan. I'll pay you back once I get my signing bonus from the new job. Come on, sis, you know I'm good for it. He'd never paid me back. Not once. Not the $3,000 for the car. Not the $500 he'd borrowed for his girlfriend's birthday gift. Not any of it. Tyler, I said, my voice shaking. You missed Lucas's birthday party 2 weeks ago to play golf. Oh, come on, don't be like that. I said I was sorry. No, you didn't. You never said you were sorry. You told me not to guilt trip you. Sarah, this is important. This is my graduation. I've worked really hard. And Lucas's 4th birthday wasn't important. His 1st birthday without his father wasn't important. That's different. He's a kid. He doesn't. He waited by the door for you. He set up a special chair for Grammy. Do you know what he wished for when he blew out his candles? He wished that his family would come next time. There was a pause. Then Tyler's voice changed, got harder. So you're saying no? Seriously? After everything this family has done for you? We were there when David died. We helped you through that. And now when I need something, you're going to throw a kid's birthday party in my face. Something inside me snapped. How much have I given you in the past 3 years, Tyler? What? I don't know, I haven't kept track. I have. $8,500. That's how much you've borrowed and never repaid. Mom and Dad. $4,200. Amanda. $3,100. Want to know the total? $15,800. And you know how many times any of you have been there when I needed help? 0. You know how many of Lucas's birthdays you've attended? 0. You have the money, Sarah. David's insurance was for me and Lucas. Not for your graduation party. Not for Amanda's concerts. Not for Mom's fake emergencies. You know what? Tyler's voice was ice cold now. You've changed. Money changed you. David would be ashamed of how selfish you've become. He hung up. I sat there, shaking with rage. David would be ashamed. David, who worked himself to exhaustion to provide for his family. David, who had that life insurance specifically so Lucas and I would be okay. David would be ashamed of me for finally saying no. Within an hour, my phone exploded. Mom, Tyler told me you refused to help with his graduation. I'm very disappointed in you, Sarah. Amanda. Wow. So you'll buy expensive birthday parties but won't help your brother with something actually important. Even Dad texted, which he never did. Family helps family. Thought we raised you better. I turned off my phone. I couldn't breathe. The betrayal was suffocating. But then, sitting in the darkness of my living room, something clicked. Memory. David, 2 months before he died. Showing me a folder in his filing cabinet. If anything ever happens to me, he'd said, everything you need is in here. Insurance policies, will, everything. And Sarah, don't let people take advantage of you. You're too kind sometimes. Protect yourself and Lucas first. Everyone else comes second. I'd laughed at him then, told him he was being morbid. But now I went to that filing cabinet. I pulled out the folder. Inside was David's will, yes. The insurance policy, yes. But also something I'd forgotten about. A letter. A letter David had written to me. To be opened only if I was struggling. My dearest Sarah, it began. If you're reading this, I'm gone. And I'm so sorry I'm not there with you and our boy. I know you. I know you're probably giving too much to people who don't deserve it. Putting everyone else first. Burning yourself out trying to be who they need instead of protecting yourself. You have my permission to be selfish. You have my permission to say no. You have my permission to cut out anyone who treats you or Lucas as anything less than precious. The money I left you isn't for them. It's for you. For Lucas. For your future. Don't let guilt rob you of the security I died trying to give you. Love you. Protect our family. Even if that means your family of origin isn't part of it anymore. I read it 3 times, tears streaming down my face. Then I made a decision. The next morning I called a lawyer. Well, actually, I called David's best friend Marcus, who happened to be a lawyer. I'd been meaning to update my will since David died but kept putting it off. Marcus, I need to make sure my will is ironclad. And I need your advice on something. I told him everything. The money I'd given. The birthday party. Tyler's demand. His reaction was immediate. Sarah, they're financially abusing you. You know that, right? The words hit me like ice water. Financial abuse. From my family. What they're doing, the guilt trips, the manipulation, the using your grief against you. It's textbook financial exploitation. And legally you don't owe them anything. Not a cent. We spent 2 hours going through everything. Marcus helped me update my will, removing my parents and siblings entirely and naming David's brother, James, as Lucas's guardian if anything happened to me. James lived across the country but had been the only one to consistently check on us, to remember Lucas's milestones, to show up. Then Marcus asked me a question that changed everything. Sarah, did your family know about David's full financial planning? The investments, the trust he set up? Froze. What trust? Marcus's eyes widened. You don't know about the trust? Apparently, David had set up an education trust for Lucas, separate from the life insurance. It was substantial, enough to pay for college, graduate school, everything. It was in Lucas's name, untouchable, managed by a trustee until Lucas turned 25. Why didn't I know about this? It was supposed to be revealed at the will reading, but you were so devastated. The trustee decided to wait until you were more stable. Sarah, this means the money you've been living on. You don't have to touch it much. Lucas's future is completely secure. But if your family knows about this. They didn't. They thought the $350,000 was everything. They thought I was living off money they felt entitled to. Don't tell them, I said immediately. Marcus nodded. Smart. But Sarah, I need to ask. Do you want to keep giving them money? No, I said. The word felt powerful. I'm done. Then here's my advice. Cut them off completely. Clear firm boundaries. And if they escalate, I'll handle it legally. I left Marcus's office feeling lighter than I had in 3 years. That evening I drafted a group text to my family. I revised it 17 times. Finally I sent it. After careful consideration, I will no longer be providing financial assistance to any family member. This decision is final and not open for discussion. Additionally, I need space to focus on Lucas and myself. I'll be in touch when I'm ready. The responses were instantaneous and explosive. Tyler. Are you kidding me? Right before my graduation. Mom. Sarah, this is cruel. We're your family. Amanda. So you're abandoning us? Unbelievable. Dad. You're making a huge mistake. I blocked them. All of them. The silence that followed was deafening, but also peaceful. For the first time in 3 years, my phone wasn't buzzing with demands. 2 weeks later was Tyler's graduation. I knew because I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I answered without thinking. Sarah. Thank God. It was Tyler's girlfriend, Melissa. Tyler's been trying to reach you. The graduation party is tomorrow and we're still short the money. He said you'd help but you're not answering. I'm not helping, I said calmly. But we've already promised people. We can't cancel now. Then I suggest you figure it out. I'm not a bank. You're really going to do this to your own brother? What kind of sister are you? The kind who stopped being a doormat. Good luck with your party. Hung up. The next day I took Lucas to the zoo. We had a wonderful time. My phone, still blocked, stayed silent. But on Monday I got an email from Mom. Subject line. Family emergency. Sarah, Tyler's graduation party was ruined because you refused to help. They had to cancel the catering. People showed up to half a party. Tyler is devastated and humiliated. This is your fault. You need to make this right. He's your brother. I read it once, then deleted it. But Marcus called me that afternoon. Sarah, did your family have any access to your financial information? Bank accounts, credit cards, anything? My stomach dropped. Why? Because someone tried to open a credit card in your name yesterday. The application was flagged because you have a credit freeze from when David died, but someone tried using your social security number, your mother's maiden name, your address. Identity theft. They'd actually tried to commit identity theft. Marcus, what do I do? We file a police report. Now. The investigation revealed it was Tyler. He'd used information from old tax returns I'd foolishly shared when he asked for advice the year before. He'd tried to open a credit card with a $5,000 limit to pay for his party expenses. The police report was filed. Tyler was interviewed. He admitted everything, claiming he was going to pay it back, and didn't think it was a big deal because we're family. Marcus gave me options. I could press charges or I could use it as leverage. If you press charges, he could face serious consequences. But if you want them to just leave you alone forever, sometimes the threat is enough. I thought about Lucas. About the life I wanted for him. About David's letter telling me to protect our family. I wrote one final email to my parents, Tyler and Amanda. I am aware of Tyler's attempt to fraudulently open credit in my name. I have filed a police report and have documentation of all financial transactions between us over the past 3 years. I am prepared to pursue legal action if any of you contact me again, attempt to access my finances, or approach Lucas in any way. Consider this your only warning. Stay away from my family. Copied Marcus on it. He called immediately. That's perfect. Firm, legal, final. How do you feel? Free, I said honestly. The response from Tyler came within an hour. You'd really send your own brother to jail. Over money. You're dead to me. I didn't respond. Mom tried calling from different numbers, leaving voicemails ranging from tearful, "How can you do this to your mother?" to angry, "You're a vindictive, selfish woman," to bargaining, "Can't we just talk about this?" I saved them all just in case but never responded. Amanda sent a long email about how I'd changed and become cruel, and how David wouldn't recognize me. I deleted it. Dad sent one text. "Your mother is heartbroken. Hope you're happy." I blocked that number too. 3 months passed. Quiet, peaceful months. Lucas and I established routines. I threw myself into my design work and actually landed a major client, growing my business. Lucas thrived in preschool. We had movie nights, park days, grocery store adventures. We built our own little family unit, and it was enough. Then I got a call from James, David's brother. "Sarah, I think you should know. Your brother Tyler's graduation party thing. It's apparently become a whole drama in your hometown. People are talking." My stomach twisted. "What do you mean?" "He's been telling everyone you refused to help him out of spite, that you're hoarding David's insurance money, that you've cut off your grieving family. It's not pretty. I thought you should know in case it gets back to you." I thanked James and sat with that information. Part of me wanted to set the record straight. But a bigger part of me knew the truth. People who mattered would believe me, and people who didn't matter. But then I got a Facebook message from Jennifer, the mom from Lucas's birthday party. "Sarah, I hope this isn't overstepping, but someone named Amanda claims to be your sister. Showed up at the preschool today asking about Lucas. The teachers didn't let her see him, but she left a gift. I was there picking up my son and overheard her tell another parent that you're keeping Lucas from his family. I thought you should know. That crossed a line. They could trash me to the whole town, but bringing it to Lucas's school? Well, called Marcus immediately. They showed up at Lucas's preschool. "Can we get a formal restraining order?" "Absolutely. Let's do it." The restraining order was filed and granted. It covered me and Lucas and specified no contact, no third-party contact, and no approaching Lucas's school or our home. When the sheriff served the papers to my family, I got one final email from Mom. "I cannot believe you'd get the law involved against your own family. Over what? Money. Your pride. You've broken your father's heart, destroyed your brother's reputation, and turned your sister against you. I hope when you're old and alone, you remember that you did this. You chose money over family. I read it, felt the familiar guilt try to surface, then remembered something David used to say. Family isn't about shared DNA. It's about who shows up. I typed one response, the only one I would ever send. I didn't choose money over family. I chose my son over people who only showed up when they wanted something from me. There's a difference. Then I blocked that email address too. Months turned into a year. Lucas turned 5 and this time his birthday party was at our house. Small, intimate, with his preschool friends and their families. Jennifer brought her son and stayed to help. James flew in to surprise Lucas with a giant T-Rex costume. Marcus brought his kids. David's other college friends, people who'd quietly checked on us over the years, came by. "Mama, this is my best birthday ever," Lucas announced, wearing his T-Rex costume and eating cake. No one was waiting for Nana. No special chairs sat empty. He wasn't making wishes for absent family. He was surrounded by people who loved him, who showed up, who remembered what mattered. That's when I knew I'd made the right choice. 2 years later, 5 years after David's death, I'm sitting in a coffee shop writing this. Lucas is in 1st grade now, thriving. He's a smart, kind kid who knows he's loved. He occasionally asks about Grammy and Grandpa, and I answer honestly but age-appropriately. Sometimes families grow apart, buddy. But look at all the people who love you. My design business is flourishing. I bought us a new house, something that's ours, with no memories of waiting for family who never came. I'm even dating someone. A kind man named Chris who Lucas adores, who shows up to every school event, who treats my son like he matters. I heard through small-town gossip that Tyler's MBA didn't lead to the job he expected. That mom and dad are struggling more financially now, probably because their free ATM closed. That Amanda got married and didn't invite me, which is fine because I wouldn't have gone anyway. Sometimes I wonder if I was too harsh. If I should have given them another chance, been more forgiving, remembered that family is family. Then I remember Lucas's face at 4 years old, looking at the door, waiting for Nana. And I remember David's letter. Protect our family. I did. Him. And I don't regret it for a second. The restraining order is still in place, mostly as a precaution. They haven't tried to contact me in over a year. The silence is golden. Last week, Lucas came home from school excited. "Mama, we're making family trees in class. Can you help me?" We sat down together with markers and construction paper. He drew himself in the middle, me on one side, David's picture, which he keeps on his nightstand, on the other. Then he added Uncle James, Marcus and his family, Jennifer's family, Chris. "Is this okay?" he asked. Miss Peterson said family can be people who love you, not just people you're related to. I hugged him tight. "That's exactly right, baby. That's exactly right. My family, my parents' siblings, they made their choice when they decided I was worth more as a wallet than as a daughter, a sister, a human being. They made their choice when they missed Lucas's birthday for golf, concerts, and convenience. I made mine when I sent them $1. Actually, let me explain that part because it's petty and perfect and I'm not ashamed. A year after the restraining order, Tyler's birthday rolled around. I'd gotten a new email address by then, one they didn't have. But I'd kept their addresses. I sent Tyler a card. Inside was a dollar bill and a note. "Happy birthday. This is all the financial support you'll ever receive from me again. Use it wisely. Sarah." I never heard back. But I like to imagine his face when he opened it. That $1 cost me nothing but meant everything. It was my final statement. I'm not your bank. I'm not your backup plan. I'm not your emergency fund. I'm just a woman protecting her son and honoring her husband's memory by refusing to be used. And honestly, I've never felt richer. To anyone reading this who's in a similar situation, who has family that only shows up when they want something, who guilt trips you for having boundaries, who makes you feel selfish for protecting yourself and your kids, listen to me. You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep them warm. Family should be a source of comfort, not exploitation. And sometimes the family you choose is better than the family you're born with. Lucas is calling me, something about showing me a drawing he made at school. This is my life now. Simple, peaceful, drama-free. And worth more than any amount of money I could have given to people who never valued me in the first place. They wanted $2,200 for a party. I gave them $1 in my absence. Best investment I ever made.